Hey guys, my name's Sam and welcome to the Driving Home Reviews podcast. This is a podcast that features mine and my girlfriend Hannah's unfiltered, spoiler-filled thoughts about films we've just seen on the drive home. Just a heads up, there's a lot of strong language, full spoilers, obviously, and a lot of comments about what we see on the road, so we hope you enjoy. This week we went and saw Snake Eyes, G.I.Joe Origins, which, as you can probably tell, is the origin story of Snake Eyes off of G.I.Joe. Makes sense, really. It stars Henry Golding off of the Gentleman, which was that Guy Ritchie film, and a couple of other things. I think he did that one with Emilia Clarke, Daenerys off of Game of Thrones, where it was like all Wham songs and stuff like that. Anyway, did we think it was any good? Let's find out. That?
I don't know.
Not bad.
I'm not 100% sold on it, but I don't know.
Like, there were bits that I really enjoyed, and then there were bits that were just fucking weird.
Yeah, a bit shit.
Yeah.
There was a shaky cam. It was like really shaky cam at the start.
It's really fucking shaky throughout all of it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that fucking grinds my gears in an action movie more than like fast editing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it that you do need to edit some bits out because they're not really fighting each other.
No.
And I get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, films like your John Wicks and I'd even go so far as to say even The Matrix
Yeah.
they sort of ruined it because you're like, well, if you're going to do films with like kung fu and like karate and all that sort of shit,
Yeah.
just make sure we can see it.
Yeah.
Because
that's it, isn't it? Like in the big fight scenes, it felt like there wasn't actually a lot of fighting. It just felt like a lot of quick cuts and we're going to try and make you think that these guys are fighting, but they're not. And I really hate it. It happened a lot in this film, but in other films as well, when there's like a big group of bad guys and then the one person on their own, and they're all just looking at each other, and then they pause, and then they all go at each other.
They have a little shrug moment, don't they, where they go,
but then
all right,
they're literally like fighting one or two people at a time, and then everyone else is just standing there like acting like they're being all involved, when it's like you might as well just stand still until he gets to you, because unless you're all going to attack him at one time, then you just look ridiculous.
You know what they need to do? They need to wait behind the camera until he's finished beating up the first three guys.
Exactly, and like have them fly in. Don't have them in a big circle around him. And then, the people that come in from behind him, I can't fight him yet because he's busy fighting those other people.
I feel like that's the thing. Like, in theory, it does make sense to surround someone.
Yeah.
When you're in a big group and there's just one of them. But it makes no sense when you're just waiting for that person to fight your friends.
Like, if you're going to attack him, just fucking all do it at the same time. Then he'll be dead.
And if you all do it at the same time and he can fight you off, then
he's
fucking
a superhuman.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's really fucking good.
Yeah.
And you need to show that, but you didn't show that.
No.
And that's not proving.
Like, I know it's, not really ideal for the plot if the one person just gets jumped by the whole group of people and dies. But
it was just so weird, because it was like it was trying to be like your classic like kung fu action movies and stuff like that, where it did have like those moments where they did like the like flying.
Oh god, don't! Or the flying jumping.
Yeah, which I quite liked, but it just came out of nowhere. Yeah. So it was just like, what?
They felt ridiculous when they happened, especially the grandma's flying jump.
Oh, I quite like that though.
God.
I think that's the thing. I can't make my mind up.
Yeeted herself in the air.
I just can't decide if I liked that thing or not. But I liked the really silly moments because it made it. But then because it took itself so seriously. Like, it took itself way too seriously for so long
Yeah.
And then they just
did.
sort of drip fed those little bits in, and it was just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Because like it all starts out where he's like Mr. Yakuza, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like working for the Yakuza, and obviously his dad dies.
Mm-hmm.
Like right at the beginning when he's a kid and you're like, oh, this is pretty serious. And I was a bit bored.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it doesn't help that we went for a big old meal before, so I was quite sleepy anyway.
Yeah.
But at the beginning I was like, I've seen all this shit before.
Yeah. It's such a classic like storyline, isn't it? Like, a kid watches his parent die and then they want to get revenge.
Goes to get revenge, and then he like... I quite like that he betrayed Storm Shadow though. That was quite cool.
Which one was he? Tommy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I quite liked that. Because obviously those two had like, in the cartoons and stuff.
What is this then? It's rubbish.
Ah, fuck's sake. I thought it was a little fucking hedgehog.
Me too. I was like, oh no!
Fully ready to like jump out and give it
Don't hit
help
that.
it across the street then.
Yeah, don't hit the animal. But it was just a bag of rubbish.
McDonald's bag by the looks of it.
Yeah, it did look like it. But yeah, he betrayed.
Yeah, I quite like that little tidbit. And I thought it was quite interesting as well because, kind of, like, I don't know, because so often now it always needs to be a flawed hero about a hero learning a lesson.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm a good guy, but I'm going to continually do bad things. And it was like, why can't he just be a good guy? Just make him a good guy. He just goes and helps Storm Shadow out.
Yeah.
Because.
Just cause, like, he doesn't have a family, and like this can be his new fam.
He doesn't need to be like flawed or whatever.
No, and like need a redemption arc. And
I was like, just have him go and be pals with Storm Shadow because Storm Shadow's the bad guy.
yeah.
He's one of the bad guys because he's with Cobra, but for the majority of this, he wasn't bad at all.
But yeah, he was
the good guy.
The good guy.
I was just a bit like, I don't know. Yeah, I was like, what? But then it made it interesting because but then I was like waiting for it because I knew he was a good guy, and then part of me was like, hey, maybe they'll do a little like switcheroo sort of thing.
Yeah.
And maybe the guy who played Storm Shadow will be, Henry Golding will be Storm Shadow, and the guy who's played Storm, like, they do a switcheroo sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, interesting, because that would have been very interesting. The way they sort of make it look like Henry Golding's Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
But from this, they were just straight up like, here's Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
Which I get, because no one knows anything about Snake Eyes.
No.
Why would you make an origin movie about it though? It's a bit like, it sort of falls into that like Han Solo. Like, why have you made a film about Han Solo? Because like, no one gives a shit about his origin story. No one's like, oh, I wonder what's really interesting. It's like he's a smuggler and he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Leave him to it, like, It's like he's a bullshitter, so like leave him to bullshit, the stuff he says. Is it true, is it not true? Who cares? You don't need to make everything like, it's just like fucking Marvel and Disney and all that stupid bullshit. They're like, oh, everything needs to be explained. It's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, whatever. I don't care why Han Solo's called Han Solo. Like, sorry, this has spun off into me giving a shit about. Anyway, yeah. Oh, I remember what my point was. Yeah, you don't need to give Snake Eyes an origin. Just leave him to it. Like, he's part of the reason that he's so cool. Fucking bombs. Was because you don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
And like, you get little tidbits. But then again, this, you still didn't really find out much about him. In the grand scheme, it was like,
I don't know. I feel like you did.
Yeah, but you don't actually find out his real name, do you? You don't find his dad's name.
Well, no, but
He's just on a path for revenge.
yeah.
But then you find out enough to like.
Yeah. Because the whole time, I don't know anything about G.I.Joe or any of the stories in it or behind it or whatever. So the whole time I was like, why did he kill his dad? Please tell me. Like, what doing in a safe house? What were they doing? Why is he dead? Was he a good guy? Was he a bad guy?
It kind of felt like they forgot.
And then when it all started, yeah, it did, didn't it?
It very much
revealed it in like the last 20 minutes.
And when she was like, oh, he was at a safe house, and I was like, he was at a safe house, wasn't he? I forgot. And I was like, yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought they just killed his dad just cause. And I feel like because at the beginning his dad was just like, even though he knew he was on the run, was still very nonchalant about everything and just like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're just walking with our motorbike. It's groovy, baby.
Yeah.
Things were not in fact groovy.
Things were not groovy.
I don't know. I would prefer just a little bit more of that. I don't know. Because he was so fucking hellbent on like finding out what happened about him and his dad.
Yeah.
And I know my origin stories. I know my like revenge films. You have flashbacks. You have flashbacks to develop characters who are dead.
Yeah.
You know, did a little bit of that just to be like, oh yeah, I forgot his dad was it because he was just
show the father-son relationship. You know, like why are you know, obviously yeah, it's your dad and someone murdered him, but like, you know, were you really super close? Like, show me the relation, make me care.
Yeah.
Make me care that his dad's dead.
Yeah.
And then I'd understand why he was so hell-bent on getting this revenge.
Yeah. Yeah. It was almost...
I also love that the actor who played his dad looked more like Henry Golding than Henry Golding did. I was like, wait, is that Henry Golding like aged to be like, oh look, I'm playing his dad, and then it's gonna be me.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just such a... like I said, it's just such a strange like line between really serious and really silly.
Yeah, it was.
And it was really silly as soon as the G.I.Joe stuff started.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when I quite liked, you know, when it was like, oh, okay, this is about the Yakuza, it's about like, you know, family and you know how they do whatever. And I was like, I like this. This is a good little like, you know, it's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting on. I'm on board with this. And I was like, if this is the whole thing, cool. And I was like, you know, little tidbits, you know, little bits here and there of the G.I.Joe mythology. Cool, I'm down with that. Like, you know, when they go to that weapons safe house, and then they pop the lid open of the weapons, and it had the Cobra.
Yeah, the Cobra logo.
Cobra logo, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I quite like this. And then as soon as they were just like, he's working with Cobra, and then the good guys are the Joes, and I was like, oh, you really didn't know how to just be subtle about this, did you? You literally just were like,
here's a spoon.
you were like, nah, everyone knows about this. And I was like, what? And that, but then, you know, like I said, such a mixed bag, because it was like, I quite enjoyed it. And I must say, some of the action bits were really good.
Yeah.
It was just some of the CGI I felt let it down.
Yeah, some of it was a bit poor.
I also felt like this film reeked of COVID.
Do you think?
Yeah, because...
What do you mean? Like, what bits?
There were just some bits that it just felt like it was like really poor stock footage. Namely, you know, the bits right at the beginning when they were going through like Tokyo, when he just arrived there, and it was just literally like the camera out the car window. And it was just a car camera shooting at night.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't like a documentary or like a, you know, one of those adverts that you see in Currys that's on a TV, and it felt like that sort of shit. And then there was a couple of like other bits where I was just like, I don't know.
Maybe it was COVID. Or maybe it was just how they wanted it to look.
Yeah, it just made me think, because I was like, could you really not think of a more inventive shot than just?
I guess they just wanted to show that you were in Tokyo.
Yeah.
That's where we were now.
I quite like the relationship between Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, though.
Yeah, I did too.
I just wish it was a bit more, just a bit less serious. Like, because you didn't really see them having a laugh.
No.
They weren't really like brothers, were they? They were just like
No, not really.
two guys who both had sort of like the same idea, same mindset, same goals, kind of.
Yeah. And you know, when they were like, oh yeah, like I see honour in your eyes, and oh yeah, I see honour in your eyes too, and like that was cute, but then you realise that he told him.
It was just bullshit.
He told him to say that. Like the bad guy was like, oh yeah, tell him that and he'll eat it up. It was like, oh, so those nice sincere parts weren't actually real. So, does he feel like your brother?
Yeah. I quite like, you know, the bit at the beginning with where they're in the fish factory.
Yeah.
Like that whole fight scene bit was pretty good, I thought.
Yeah. Apart from, I was really laughing when Henry Golden like had his little bloody short knife, and then all the other henchmen had their massive blades,
full on katanas,
and I was like, oh, this seems fair.
Yeah.
I also find when people are doing like karate or that kind of action, it goes very like Power Rangers. Do you know what I mean? In like the over acting or over movement, and I'm like, just stand a little bit more still. Like you don't need to fling your arms around like that. Like I know you're ready for a fight.
It's when they run in and they do that sort of like whole body like what? When they stand there with their swords.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you said about it earlier, didn't you? You know, when they just sort of stand there.
Yeah.
And then they go. But they like shake their whole body and they run in like.
As if to be like, I'm ready now.
I'm like, but you're not really a bunch of great warriors, are you? 'Cause
No.
I'm like, I feel like if you're a warrior, you'd run sword first.
Yeah.
Not like waving your arms like a madman, like, yeah, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
I was just, like I said, I just got more annoyed because I was like, because there were bits that were really good with the action, and then they'd cut and it'd be another thing, and I'm like, when you do an action scene, one of the easiest things and one of the best things you need to do to like keep your audience and your friend and keep friends on board is you just need to establish where characters are.
Yeah.
And establish where characters are. Do it so people can see what people are doing. Even if it's with, you know, stunt doubles.
Yeah.
Just have the character look away. Shoot it so it's their back, but just keep it steady on them so you know that's them.
Yeah.
And just don't cut so fucking much. Keep it steady.
Yeah.
Keep it clear. Like establish where everyone is and what is going on in that scene. Not just like shaky cam footage of and then like throwing the camera to the floor when someone gets like their face smashed in.
Yeah. What is this then?
What the fuck? Moving a bed. What?
Transporting like mattresses.
What the fuck was that?
Past 11 at night. What are you doing? At least they had lights on their bikes, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Could see them. Yeah, I did think, because I've gotten into the habit now of like when we're watching a film.
Keep an eye out for a one take.
And I'll be, I'll just be sat there thinking like, what do I think of this?
Yeah.
And then, it was during that, you know, the scene at the temple, whatever they called it. Did they call it the temple? Or the castle? Or
Castle, temple?
the place where they were based, the clan. And, and it was just the bad guy with the rock.
With the rock. Oh, yeah.
That whole scene. And I was like, this is really ridiculous. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
like the bit when they all walked in slowly, classic, you know, it started with the grandma and then she was walking and then they all sort of walked in and joined her and then they were in a group and then they were facing the bad guys in their group. And then someone says something, oh, bloody Samara Weaving gives a like classic one-liner, I'm a really funny gal. And then bloody grandma pops a smoke bomb and does a magic trick and they all disappear. I was like, what is going on? This is ridiculous. But I was kind of enjoying it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But
I was just like, okay then, I'm gonna roll with it. It's making me laugh. But I'm enjoying myself, so...
That's the thing. I think that's why I was like, because it's so serious but so silly.
Yeah.
And it was like, why don't you just be silly? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I feel like that's what you needed to, like, I don't know, I feel like films these days, there is that fine line that you can tread. As long as you got the right writer on board, there is that fine line where you know how silly you can be.
Yeah.
And just acknowledge the silliness. Like, you know, they did it in like Lego Movie and stuff like that. Like, they acknowledged that that's a great film that was based on toys. And I'm like,
wow.
Like, take a leap from that sort of book where it's like, you know, just be more self-aware that these are characters that are stupid.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's all you need to do. I mean, this film had 3 fucking giant snakes in it for some reason.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. How could I forget about the snakes?
Forget about the fucking snakes?
I know. When I said to you, when they started like moving around, and I was like, oh, it's the basilisk.
Oh yeah, because I thought no, surely not. And then I was like, all right, okay. I feel like that was the point where, well, it wasn't even that point because he'd already met the G.I. Joe, Samara Weaving, by then. Yeah. But I feel like she got absolutely done dirty. She just wasn't it.
No, she wasn't. They introduced her and they were like, oh yeah, like when Scarlett gets here, and then she didn't arrive again for another like 20 minutes. And I was like, we've introduced her, like where is she?
Wow, this driveway seems a lot smaller in a new car, I must say.
And that long bonnet. I did like it when she and
the Baroness
were like, oh yeah, let's be alliances for now. For the night. And then after the whole magic trick situation and the Baroness was like, fuck this, and just left. I was like, fair enough.
Yep.
Like, there is literally nothing in this for you at the moment, so...
Oh my fucking days, why is this fucking so difficult to park? Fucking bins, man.
Yeah. Oh. Don't knock Mary's plant over.
You can get fucked. Well, she didn't put bins fucking side by side. It wouldn't be that much of a fucking issue. Oh yeah, we didn't think about that, did we?
What?
Fucking reversing.
Excuse the reverse sensor.
You can all hear how fucking shit I am apart. Reverse parking in a fucking teeny tiny little driveway.
You'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Pulling closer to my car. Doesn't matter if you hit my car, does it?
Oh no, but I don't want to hit my car.
Well, no, that's true.
Your car, yeah. I'll hit it and it might fall to pieces.
Hey now. She's indestructible, I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, because I'd heard not a lot of good things about it. And I did want to give it the benefit of the doubt because I was like, I like Henry Golding. Like, G.I. Joe's fun. I know enough about it. I know the basic lore. But for a character that's mainly meant to be mute, he said a lot of words, didn't he, Snake Eyes? Yeah. And I was waiting for them to explain why he was quiet. Or why he, refuses to speak. Because I thought, oh, okay, the snake's going to get him in that final fight. I was like, Snake's gonna get him in the throat or something, or someone's gonna slice his voice box.
Right.
You know.
Is that a thing then? He doesn't talk?
Generally, yeah, I think. Which is what I was expecting. And then he like, because I was like going towards the end when, you know, and they were like, oh, Snake Eyes, Storm Shadows betrayed the clan because he used the shiny rock thing.
Yeah.
To
He killed that guy, right?
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
No, but he used it. Which
Yeah. Well, how did that guy get away then?
I have no idea. Because they needed a reason for Snake Eyes to go back into the big snake pit and prove that he was at peace.
Yeah, he like ran away, didn't he? Oh yeah, I forgot how he actually died. He actually got eaten by a massive snake, didn't he?
How did you forget?
How did I forget the snakes?
But yeah. So I was just like, because I thought,
well maybe
because I thought he was going to take, because I'm sure in the original films he took a vow of silence, and I thought maybe he was going to do that, because you know when he was like, oh, you gave me your word thing, and I thought maybe that was it. He wasn't going to say anything else then. He was like, right, okay, look, my big mouth has got me these fucking problems. I'm sick of fucking around. I'm just going to take a vow of silence and my actions will be good in the world, etc.
Yeah.
Because he kept being like, oh yeah, you know, I'm a really good guy. And I was like, are you?
Are you?
Are you? I was like, you've been a bit of a dick for this whole film.
Yeah. Maybe, because
also, did you not think that the fucking... Why didn't you tell your mate, who literally has, like, brand new technology and shit like that, why didn't you just say, oh, by the way, I'm looking for my dad's killer. Could you have a little look for me, by any chance?
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah.
Because he found out that Cobra, the terrorists, were... Like, after he found out they were Cobra, and he was like, oh, I don't know about this. And then he's like, oh, okay, yeah, fuck it, alright, cool. I was like, just go and tell your mate. Tell your mate. And I was just waiting for that moment, and then he just never really got, or he never really did have much of a redemption arc, did he? He just sort of went, I should probably go get that shiny stone.
Yeah. That was it, wasn't it? Because he obviously didn't kill the guy that killed his dad.
Yeah.
Let him go, and then he went back to help the people that he'd betrayed.
Yeah.
And he did help them. I'd say that's a pretty good redemption arc for him. Maybe because they've going back to him supposed to be being mute. Maybe because they've obviously left it for another one.
Yeah.
Maybe like in the next one he'll.
I quite like how they left it open a little bit, like a teeny tiny bit of a door. Like, you know, not one of those where it's like a really obvious.
Oh yeah, it's not like a cliffhanger,
sequel.
but
it's just like we could bring it back. We could bring it back. Because I'd quite like to see Henry Golding do it again.
Yeah.
But then it wouldn't make any sense because like he'd be quiet the whole film, wouldn't he? Because maybe that's it. Maybe they got too big name our actor, and they were like, well, we can't have Henry Golding just being quiet for the whole film, you know?
Yeah. So maybe in like the next one he'll, I don't know, encounter.
I feel it would be quite difficult to get a whole film about someone who's quiet, like who just doesn't say anything. I'm sure there are films out there.
I was gonna say, I don't know, there are enough other characters that talk, but like, you know, I don't know, look at like Guardians, like you've got Groot that literally just says I'm Groot.
Yeah.
But they're still a part of like the film, you know?
Yeah. But Groot's not like the main character.
Not a great example, but
I know what you mean. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure there is some examples out there. But
not with the main character, no, but
because I feel like in a G.I.Joe film, it works well that Snake Eyes is quiet because he just sort of turns up and like fucks shit up and then leaves. Yeah. But
I wonder where he trained.
Me too. It's Origins, but you didn't really seem to do much training, did you?
And like, what happened between the ages of like 11 and 30? You know? How did you get out of that woods, and like where did you go?
Yeah, I was thinking he was going to come across like like a sensei or
Yeah.
something like that. You know, someone who was going to train him proper, and then his sensei would die, and then he'd be like, I'm fucking so sick of people dying, and then, because he was literally, oh, I'm going in the woods, I'm in the camera in the woods with my dad. Dad's dead. Oh look, now I'm Henry Golding fighting a big dude.
Yeah, now I'm
And
working.
quite frankly, getting my ass fucking beat.
Yeah, and I'm working at the bloody docks in LA, gutting fish and filling them with guns instead.
I also like how the title card came after he had the fight with the guy, and I was like, I would have thought that title card would have come sooner. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when he was in the woods on his own, and it's very dark, and you could just cut to black.
Yeah.
Job done. But no, it was done in a big sweeping drone shot, just stuck in there, ugly as you like.
Yeah.
As if it was just like a location card.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, the sort of those kind of editing things weren't the best, were they? Like the bloody subtitles.
Oh, what? It looked like they were done on like word art or something. And I was like,
literally, I was just about to say, like,
because I know the exact word art that it was. It
the,
was like
sunset one.
that, like slanted yellowy orange one, and it was like, which was I'm pretty sure was next to like the blue wavy one. That was like the go-to one, wasn't it? And I was just like, really? But I just wish it had leaned into the silliness and or the seriousness more, and not treaded between the two. Like, if you're gonna make it a kung fu sort of like Japanese action movie where it's that sort of, you know, it's got stunts where people are flying about and shooting, and you got like, you know, lots of stunts, have them do it and just lean into it and be like, cool. And then just have little tidbits, you know, have the little bits of like, oh, you know, Cobra logos and G.I.Joe stuff, or just have them come in at the end, because you don't need him to be working with Samara Weaving, you know. I just feel like she was really oddly placed, and then obviously the Baroness as well, because she's one of the Cobra guys, and it was just like, you can tell these are just people that they've gone,
they were just
name
like,
drop,
chucked him in,
and it was like, you didn't use them in a good way, you just
threw him in.
Yeah, you just were like, fuck it, we'll see what happens. Because I said, I liked the silliness of it. When they had them like flying through the air and doing like their mega jumps and stuff. And I like, you know, the bit when they went to go and get the weapons, and they were having like the fights on the roof, and it was that really narrow alleyway. And I was like, that's quite. I feel like there's a good action set piece in here.
Yeah.
I can't see what's going on. And I don't know if that's down to the stunt coordinator. I'm like, if you're gonna do a film like this, just get a better stunt coordinator.
Yeah.
And just, you know what I mean, just do something like that. I don't know. But I did, no. Oh, it's a bit of a mixed bag, wasn't it?
I think I'm undecided on that, to be honest.
So am I.
Normally, when we start talking about things, I develop more of a side kind of, but I am feeling quite in the middle of this one,
because it's not quite the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's also not the best thing I've ever seen. I feel like I have to chuck in a new category.
Oh yeah, go on then.
So I wouldn't get it on Blu-ray.
No.
I wouldn't get it on release.
No.
I might get it on Blu-ray if it was in the bargain bin.
Okay.
Or DVD. Maybe a 2 for $20. I might watch it on streaming again, just to give it another go. You know.
Just rented or free streaming?
Maybe Amazon. So maybe maybe a rent. Yeah, maybe a rent.
I don't think I'd pay to see that. There's your answer.
Yeah.
I'd watch that on like a hungover Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I probably wouldn't pay. Well, maybe I'd rent it for like £3.50 or
£2.50. I wouldn't pay.
Most.
I wouldn't pay like a tenner to like rent it on Sky. I'd wait for Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And do it that way. or if it was, I'd rent it off Amazon, or wait for it to go on Netflix, any of the streamings which I've got.
Yeah.
Because I would say for free, but obviously it's not free because you've got to pay for it.
Well, no, but you know, you don't have to pay the extra.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd recommend it to someone to watch on a Sunday afternoon. Because it is. I just wish it was a bit more dumb and a bit more fun, because then it'd have a bit of charm to it, but it didn't really have a bit of charm.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was because I was like, I really like Henry Golding, but I feel like they didn't use him enough.
No. And it's
because he wasn't particularly likeable, or
no.
He didn't seem like he was having fun with it. I feel like he was too serious.
He was very serious, wasn't he?
But it was weird because I felt like the grandma, she was a bit serious, but not really serious.
Yeah.
The guys who went through, so the teachers.
The blind guy and then
the blind guy. He was like,
he was all right.
He was fine, you know. He did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
And then the guy who did the first trial with him, he was good.
He was
good fun.
I wanted more of him.
I felt because he was the lead guy in the Raid 2, so he's a really good martial artist.
Yeah.
He does a lot of like stunts and stuff.
Because when he came on, you were like, I saw you reacting to him,
and I was like,
who's
here
this
we
then?
go. And then when he was like, take this bowl, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
And then you sort of see him at the end, but he's fighting in the dark with 20 dudes, and you can't see who he's fighting.
Yeah.
Whereas like in the Raid, you see him doing all his own stunts and stuff. So I feel like that's the thing. It's
again
just,
like wasted almost.
Yeah. I feel like if this film would come out 10 years ago, probably would have been better.
It felt like it did though.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was because of what we were talking about earlier with the editing of the title cards and things like that. Like it felt very 2000s.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like Fast and Furious vibes.
A bit Transformers-esque.
Yes.
And I feel like that's the problem, is because Transformers, G.I.Joe, both Paramount, both Hasbro toys, and I'm like, Paramount need to fucking give the rights to someone else, or just let someone have fun with it, you know, and stop trying to make it so fucking serious. That was the problem with Transformers, was everything. It was always like, oh, we're so serious now, and it was all about like the US military, and it was like, what? And it was like, fuck, mate, have some fun. You're robots that transform into cars, like, and I was like, Snake Eyes, you're a fucking action figure. Do action figure stuff and have fun. Like, it wouldn't kill you to have a bit of fun. It's like,
just a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit more fun.
And I'm like, if you're going for like this serious a tone, make it 15. Make it a bit more violent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what I was expecting. Because they kept cutting away, all you'd see was like swords go and then people just fall over.
Yeah.
But the editing would do it so it cut to a camera angle that's far away. So you're like, how did they die? And it feels like that they must have cut some bits out to stop it being like a 15 or whatever. But I'm
classic. I feel like
make it a 50.
Yeah,
like,
there was a lot of blood, was there?
And I'm like, realistically,
because it was giving me like Mortal Kombat vibes, but
oh my god, I completely forgot.
Not as violent.
You know the gym that he was getting ready in when the Yakuza guy came up and spoke to him? That was the gym from Mortal Kombat that they had the fight in.
Yeah.
It was exactly the same, and I was like, oh wow, okay. I was like, you've not even tried to find a different location. No. But then it made me think, you know,
maybe COVID.
I was like, maybe cause COVID, like, I don't know. Because maybe this film was meant to come out. Because I feel like this was definitely meant to come out last year, wasn't it?
I couldn't tell you.
I can't remember. Because I knew this film was coming, but I didn't...
anything about it, to be honest. It snuck up on me.
Because
other than having the Panaflex out at the cinema, like when that went up, I was like, "What's this then?"
I think as soon as you saw Henry Golding, you were like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, go on then." And then I saw like G.I.Joe Origins, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I've heard of G.I.Joe, only in terms of like the action figure. Didn't realise it was a whole. Do you say comics or?
Yeah, I'm sure it's like comics, cartoons.
Yeah.
They all sort of go hand in hand, don't they? You know.
Yes, it does make sense.
I think because originally it was like a info, like, oh, don't do drugs, kids, and there was just a whole episode about why they shouldn't do drugs and all that. So you know what I mean? It was that sort of like agenda, that adult pushing agenda.
Yeah.
Just disguised in cartoon stuff. But no, I keep wanting to say I like it. I like bits of it. Again, like I said, I went in with giving benefit of the doubt to Henry Golding. But I'm like, hey ho. I'm like, I feel like he probably could be an action guy.
Oh yeah.
He just needs the
Definitely
right film.
could. He needs a more serious action role, I think.
He could probably do it with Marvel.
Yeah. I think he could do
Which
it
I
with
hate to say,
Marvel.
it's fucking so boring now. Because, Marvel just get everyone. But I'm like, I feel like something like that, just to get him established.
Yeah.
Do a sort of Chris Pratt sort of thing, you know. But then I feel like him, because he's a bit of a heartthrob, isn't he? But then he was in The Gentleman, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
But he was just a bit of a prick in that. It wasn't like action-y sort of thing,
That was also another thing. I'm like, sort out your accent, please.
Yeah.
Because you sound British.
Yeah, he really needs...
They should have just made him British. Or he should have worked better on his American accent.
Quite frankly. Or have him like the character and just be quiet. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah. Just be quiet.
Yeah, because there were some points where I was like, okay, yeah, you've done an alright job with this. And there were some points where I was like, that was just English.
Yeah.
That was like your British accent coming through. Like. But, yeah. I thought he was good in it.
Yeah.
I thought he was good.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Storm Shadow was good. I thought Storm Shadow's little apprentice, the woman, I thought she was good.
Yeah.
I feel like the problem is there were some good components, but they just didn't really gel.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Samara Weaving, the Baroness, and then the Yakuza guy who just turned into this comical villain. I feel like that, like I said, that sort of belonged in a different movie.
Yeah.
I feel like you just need to scrunch that up and like throw that in a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Or have Samara Weaving turn up, or just someone else turn up at the end.
Give more of an appearance. Like just I don't know, one of them.
Yeah.
Focus on one of them and give them more of a story than chucking in three of them and like half-assing it.
Because I feel like the Baroness didn't need to be there.
I don't
even
think
more
she
at
did.
the end when the Yakuza guy just betrayed her and then she fucked off. I was like,
Yeah.
just don't have her.
Yeah, she didn't need to be. She didn't add to the story.
Not at all. Just have her doing whatever. Yeah, it would have been better have her at the little bit at the end, you know, Storm Shadow goes off and he's all sulky and then she's on the plane. Have her come in there. That's all you needed. And then just have Samara Weaving as... But
and yeah, like have her have
don't
like
have her as necessarily...
Cobra tattoo or something.
Yeah, and don't have her as like a well-established Joe. I feel like it almost didn't need that like established... I was like, just keep it with this family's against the Yakuza. Job done.
Especially when she was talking to Henry Golding at the end about his dad, and she was talking about him like she knew him personally and like she'd heard all about him, and I'm like, you're literally younger than he is.
Yeah,
so
and I was like, no.
This is really weird.
Yeah, because she was like, oh, they've tried, it's been ages finding her. Have they?
I'm like, have they?
How do you know? You've just joined them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just can't think of anything else. I mean, we haven't even really addressed the stupid sunstone situation. Because I thought it was going to turn out that... Because I knew Storm Shadow was a bad guy. I was like, I know he turns into a bad guy.
Yeah.
So I thought Henry Golding was going to... Obviously, he was going to go to the Yakuza. He did all that. And then I thought he's going to go to Storm Shadow. And then he's going to find out that Storm Shadow is even worse than them. And then he's going to take it. And he's going to go to the Joes. And that's how it's all going to end.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to fight with Storm Shadow to defeat the Yakuza. And then they'll think it's all Pete. And, like, Storm Shadow's like, well, fuck this. I don't agree with this. I'm out. I'm done. Like, I'll stop the Yakuza because they're bad guys because they're using Cobra weapons. Leave it at that. And then have him steal the Sunstone. The Sunstone. And give it to the G.I. Joes.
Yeah.
Jobs are good and everybody's sorted, mate. But it wasn't that at all.
No. No.
Or even have Samara Weaving in it, but just don't make her a Joe halfway through, because then you're just like, well, I'm just waiting for more of the Joes to... Where are the rest of the Joes? Why is she taking so long to arrive and then just arrives? in the middle of the battle.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you're not even going to bother to develop this character, you're just going to have her show up. And I'm like, yeah, no. Any final thoughts?
No.
Anything else you want to say?
Meh.
Yeah.
Meh.
Not the worst film I don't think it's the worst film we've seen since we've done the podcast.
No, it's down there though.
It's not very high.
It's like bottom 3.
I wouldn't put it in my bottom 3 of the films that I don't regret seeing it.
No.
Because like I said, there were bits of it that I did enjoy. It just could have been better and a hell of a lot better. And I just wish... Yeah. I was willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, but if someone asked me if they should go see it, unfortunately I would have to say wait for it to come on streaming or rent it on a Sunday afternoon after you've had your Sunday dinner and you're a bit sleepy. Or maybe, even if it's a Friday night and you just want something dumb.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't any points where I was like,
It
wasn't one of those things where I was like, this is fucking atrocious. Because I wasn't like, the acting's bad. I wasn't like the writing's particularly bad. The action scenes were fine. Some good, some less good. It just didn't quite all go. Which is why I'm like, if you sort of watch it at home half-assed, have a couple of beers on a Friday night, maybe, after work, you're checking your phone, because it's not the most complicated film to follow, is it? You haven't got to pay most attention to it. But, yeah, I'd like to see Henry Golding come back as Snake Eyes, and I feel like that there is some good in there.
Yeah.
But I just don't think they're going to make another one. I don't think
this one will do well enough.
No. I don't think...
It was literally opening week, we were in the biggest screen, there were only 2 people in there, apart from one guy behind us.
But, yeah, I just think they're just trying to force something that I don't think is going to happen. Namely, I feel like Hasbro and Paramount think that G.I. Joe is a much bigger property than it is.
Yeah.
Because I feel like G.I. Joe doesn't have much of a wide appeal outside of America and a very specific youth who grew up with it at that particular time.
Yeah.
And even then, I feel like if you're not... I feel like it'd be, that He-Man thing that I was telling you about, where it was like you either need to really reinvent it and give it to someone who liked it as a kid and wants to try something new.
Yeah.
Might piss off the fanboys, like the new He-Man thing did, or it'll work and it's actually really fucking good, and people just need to get the fuck over it,
Yeah.
But I just feel like G.I. Joe should just stay as a comic, as like a cartoon.
Yeah.
And just give it to Netflix. Give it to Netflix. Let them reinvent it. Give it an updated cartoon. Because I'm like, there's still political shit now that the G.I. Joes could do.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? Because I was like, I feel like the world's changed too much for cheesy shit. But it could be better. Just take G.I. Joe in a different direction. Either acknowledge how silly it is, and make maybe a live action, or maybe a Spider-Verse / Lego movie type film of it, and go that way. I feel like that's the way you've got to do it.
Yeah.
But keep Henry Golding as Snake Eyes, because he's good.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope.
That's right.
And there it was, our driving home review. Very interesting. Was it controversial? Possibly. This is pre-recorded, so deal with it. Anyway, thanks for listening. And if you want to get in touch, give us a follow on Insta, Twitter, or give us a like on Facebook, where we're Driving Home Reviews. It'd be great if you could subscribe and leave a nice juicy 5-star review, and maybe I'll buy you a pint. Is this bribery? Probably. But tune in next time for another Driving Home review. Bye bye!